Good morning, everyone. It's a hot, humid one in Paradise this morning. It's only 8:20, and I don't know if you can see the sweat on my arm. It's just humid and hot. But I've been out here working on this pump, and Paradise pump is no more. I think it's just flat worn out. If I pour water in the feed side here while the pump is running, it will push it out the other end barely. But I don't think it's got enough suction to pull up out of the pond from that far. And again, this pump wasn't designed for this. I just salvaged it out of Mom's pressure pump when we put a new one in when I got here. So we might be going pump shopping today. I did not want to have to do this. I did not want to spend money on a pump for this, but I've also got all these trees and stuff around here. I don't want to die, and I don't know when it's going to start raining. So, ooh, got dizzy standing up there. Paradise Village is now a ghost town in Paradise. I am the only one here this morning. The skim crew packed up and moved out for a while. He told me he's going to be back in about 5 weeks, and I figured he'd come back to do the concrete work around the outside of the house and stuff once they're a little further along the inside. He might come back and help out with tiling and stuff. I don't know how long tiling's going to take, but he had to go get on one of them other houses that Duke started up. There's stuff left here for a couple beds, so I'm thinking there's going to be 2 guys sticking around. We kind of heard that yesterday, that there's going to be 2 around here to help get started on the tiling. The electricians are here. Not at the moment, but they are here sooner or later. Probably about 9 o'clock, because that's when the out-of-town folks typically show up, about 9. So I suspect I'll see them in about a half an hour. But as we showed yesterday, they got started. We are going to end the skim coat series because the skim coat is all done. There's a couple things I want to take a look at. A couple subscribers asked questions about, so we're going to walk over here and do that now. One of them was the gutters. Exactly how they tied in, I'm not sure, but it will set right up on top of there. I'm sure the roof will overhang it just like normal. What I don't know is how they'll keep the rain from just running down this and dripping anyhow. I don't know if they'll put flashing out there to bring it back into the gutter, or maybe put a flashing off the top of that sticking out so that any rain that hits that will come down to the gutter. I don't know, but we will have to just wait and see. But as you can see, they got everything rendered, skim coated, whatever you want to call it. They will do another, in bodywork we used to call it glazing, right? It's just a really thin coat that just goes over it and smooths. You can see in the sun here, smooths all this stuff out, fills all the little blemishes and stuff. Like these here, these are from wires that are sticking out. They didn't get in there. Oh no, that might be a damn cat there. I think that was the cat going up the wall. So we'll watch that gutter develop as time comes. We saw earlier that they put the pipes inside of the facade of these columns, and they're coming out here. The question was asked, why wouldn't they just put one on every one to make sure you have maximum flow? Can't answer that question. Not familiar with these. I didn't know what to expect. Had no idea. The other question was the ground rod for the house. It was laying right here yesterday. Here it is. One of the subscribers said, hey, make sure they put a ground rod in. This is one of the things I talked to him about before we even signed the contract. I told him I wanted a grounded system. And the subscriber was saying, hey, make sure they drive it down good and deep. Well, I can tell you right now, it's nearly 3 meters tall. And we put 2 meters of dirt in, so it should get down into the rice paddy. Should be a nice ground rod. I'm not sure where they'll put it. If it was me, I'd drill a hole right down through here and just put it right here, because the panel's going right here. And just for the record, I put 2 of them on the slough over there when I wired it. So yeah, it's pretty quiet around here this morning compared to 15, 16 people that run around here 2 days ago. And yesterday, the trim crew got quite a bit done as well. And the trim crew consists of 2 people from what I can tell, but they got all this trimmed out. They got the bottom one run over there, up the door. I don't know why they didn't finish around the door. Ran all the way down the end, across the other end. Around here, across the top of the door, around the side of the house, and halfway down the patio to the sliding doors. Some pit was wondering, what is that stuff? How is it made? Whatever. But it's just a concrete formed piece of trim. And they will literally pack this full of mud. I call it mud. I'm used to sheetrock, but full of mortar to where it kind of heaps up. I don't know if you can see under there. I'm going to try to get the camera here. It's going to be sideways, so I apologize. There should be a couple holes right there in the wall. I can't get my head down that far. But they drove a couple pins in there on a line and just laid that board on top of it, pushed it in with the mortar, and then they took a drill and just drilled into this block and then just stuck the screw with one of them plastic inserts that you usually put in the wall. Right on the tip of the screw, just shoved it all the way in and then just screwed it in. And as you've seen on the front, they'll come through and just cover all this up, all the seams. Let's go look on the sign out here and see if we can see what it shows. I don't know how accurate this is. Well, the front looks right. And again, this stone here, 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 and we added it over here, will be black stone. The rest of it's kind of close, color-wise. And then we did talk to Duke about mimicking this column here on both of these posts at the driveway just to tie it all together. As I said yesterday, we did get the paint for these. Told Sumpit I don't want Mr. Local to start on these until he has done these and did some work back there and cleaned up that mess over there where he didn't tape it. Because I want that taped when he cuts the color on. But we got all the paint. Should be good to go. If he gets out here today, which he's a late starter too, I don't know why. I would be out here when it's nice and cool. Not that it was ever nice and cool today. It's just, he got up this morning, it was just humid right from the start. We are still searching for lights. We need 1, 2, 3 wall mount lights, right? And we're trying to find those plus a pair of top post mount lights that all match. We found a couple, but we haven't liked them. We looked at them at Home Pro the other day when we were picking out everything else. And I told Duke, just forget it. Don't worry about it. We'll find the lights. If we can't find matching sets, we'll just get 3 up here and something else out here. I did pay for the underground tubing and wire. I don't even want to talk about this, but I'm just going to tell you I paid for the stuff to get wires over here. Cost me way more than it should have. It's going to get done and done right. Somebody made a comment about that too. And I appreciate all your guys' comments, so don't get me wrong when I talk about this stuff. They commented that it looks like I'm taking the time and the expense to do it right. And my comment was, I told Sumpit, we either take the time and the money now to do it right, or we take the time and extra money later to do it right. So we might as well do it now. It's a lot easier to put this drain field in right now while they got that dug up and there's no grass or trees or anything in the way than to try to do it 2 years from now when the toilet's backed up. Just like putting the Y in there. Why not just put it in now? Granted, it might be a waste of money, but it's like insurance. If I ever have to put another line on there, all I got to do is, I'm not going to glue any of these because they're intended to leak, right? So I'm not gluing anything. So all I got to do is dig up that Y, pull that cap off, slide one of these on, and just head out across the yard. Now, I don't want to throw money away, but I'm going to do it right, as long as it's within reason. This here, we got a barrel at home that's got a little crack in the bottom, so I'm going to split the side of it open, the width of that post, so I can kind of half-ass flip that door shut and just hang the whole barrel over top of that, so when the rain does come, it won't get inside there and get everything wet. Okay, this looks like the trim people here. I will say that now that all the walls are in, it's looking sufficiently sized for us to. The living room would be about right, I think. Bedrooms, our bedroom and bathroom and closet and everything will be about right. Kitchen will be a little small. This, in my opinion, at the moment, is a masterpiece. There will be a 3-meter long countertop starting approximately here, running down to that corner, just a straight piece. We did tell them to include the same black granite appearance tile here that is going on this island countertop and in the kitchen. We're going to do a loft style concrete base under that, as well as out here, mainly just for cost and simplicity. Just smooth out your concrete really nice and then put like a clear lacquer on it. Same out there. Low maintenance, never have to mess with it again. As far as the decor and the lines and the color patterns, we picked out the colors. I'm just going with whatever they recommend on the trim work because it don't really matter to me. Hunaban did tell us that the ceilings will be the next thing to go in, but they cannot put those in until we get all the wires pulled. So once he gets all the wires pulled, I'm guessing they will get to work on the ceiling. I am going to have them put an access hole either in here. I'm thinking I'll probably put it over here just because there's more room to set up a ladder to get up there. Because with these tall ceilings, you're going to need a tall ladder to get up there. And it sounded like the couple people that got left behind are going to be skim coating these bathrooms. Oh, and I want to talk about how they bend these pipes here, these plastic PVC pipes. That is done by hand. And let me see if they can find the tool they use to do that. It is, I'm going to say, nothing less than genius. Just a door spring. Genius, and it is simple, cheap, 100% effective. You've seen that pipe in there, right? Got my new work hat. Haven't replaced the other hat. This is just work hat. I'll tell you why. Hired the guy to paint the fence. Told him once they started, it needed to be a week. Need to be done. Gave him like 3 days. He wanted a few days to finish up whatever he was working on. Did that. Come in for 2 days. Got the primer on. I already told you about how I showed him with the tape. Taped the first piece. He just went and painted the rest. Got paint all over the place. Painted stuff he wasn't supposed to paint. Didn't paint the tops of posts. And just a few things that just didn't make sense to me. The next day we were running around with our builder doing stuff. Thought he was done, so he quit working. Even though he screwed this up and this needed to be painted, and none of the tops of the posts were painted. Let me just get to the point. Today he didn't show up. Said he needed to go to school because they needed him to put a light in or something because he works for them all the time. Okay, fine, whatever. And then midway through the day, it's, oh, I need to help my buddies do some stuff. So, got out my new work hat, went down through, sanded the stuff off that he got paint all over, put the tape on, painted this. He painted this post down. It was supposed to be just the beam, but he painted it all the way down. So I went ahead and primered this because now I'm going to paint this to match that since he already had the post painted. Went through, did all the tops of the posts. Trim crew, they're still out front working. I think they got, you can see they got all this done here. But then the sun kind of really started burning in over here. So I think they moved around front just to get out of the sun. Don't blame them. I imagine they'll come over and in the morning they'll be back over here and because they got some stuff they got to do out on that outside area over there too. But yeah, I think it looks nice. And I mentioned earlier, I don't know if it made it through editing or not yet because I haven't edited, but I mentioned earlier that I didn't really care about the trim, just let them do what they want to do. But I do recall now, these end pieces, I'm going to show you this. This double bar here went all the way to the top like those two originally. But I told the builder, my original plan was to put an overhang out here to block the sun off this side of the house and the other end. I told him not to put the trim all the way to the top. That way, if later on I want to put something, anything over here to maybe help shade the windows or an overhang to put an outside area or whatever, I could do that. So there will not be any of those double column strips or whatever they are all the way to the top, all the way down this side or the other side for that reason. This is the power feed from the pole. Originally, my plan was to just make a straight line from here to the pole so I would always know where it was at. But they come in, put up Whoville over here, and Duke wanted to bring it out over here and run it out the fence, run it up there, so whatever. But there's going to be a junction box right here underground. So we got that spotted with a stake, talked to the electrician, made sure we got that in the right place because there is going to be concrete here, 1 meter, and there, 1 meter. So I want to pour all of this in concrete, even with this 1 meter here. So that box needs to be back here out of the way. But that's going to run across to here. I'm going to leave a 1 meter wide strip of dirt here for plants and rock or whatever, landscaping. That will go all the way down through there. There'll be another junction box here for the wires. This is where they're going to grab the power for the gate and the lights on the post. And then the feed line will just run down there to the post. If there's one thing the Thai people do right, is they do conduit. They put conduit everywhere. And I'm not sure why they do that when we don't even do that in the West. I mean, we do it for industrial applications, but not just household applications. So that's our end of the day update. I want to put this into perspective just a little bit when you sit and think about it. Right before the 7 days of death, which is before New Year's weekend, they drove all the pilings in for this house, December 28th, I think it was, or 6th or something. They come in on January 3rd and start putting the footings in on January 3rd. Today is March 5th. February is a short month, so we're going to call it, what, 8-9 weeks at the most? 8 or 9 weeks we've come from a lot with nothing but pilings sticking out of the ground to a, what would you call it, 60% finished house? 65? I don't know. I know we paid them about 60% of the cost already. Pretty amazing when you think about it. A lot of work in a short time. But that slow, monotonous stuff is coming now. It's supposed to start cooling off a little bit tomorrow for a few days. But yeah, it's 100 degrees out again. So I haven't done a video for a couple days. We have been crazy busy. The pump pond quit working last time I made a video, actually, because I was in the video. I talked about it. But we spent all day yesterday running back and forth to Global House. 2 different pumps on that thing, brand new pumps. Still can't get to pull water. I don't know why. We changed all the pipe too, so I'm not sure what the problem is, but needed to get this fence painted, as you can see behind us right here. I talked about the guy we hired to paint the fence didn't show up that day. Well, then he didn't show up the next day. So her and I just took matters into our own hands today, and we got all the dark gray all the way around in one day. 2 layers, or 2 coats. So all we got left is to go through here and around the front. As you can see, we just slop painted it, and then we'll tape it off, and then we're going to paint that the light gray that's going to be on the house as well. This color is the same color as the house. So we got to do these. We're going to do these inserts all the way around here, and this one here, only because that guy put primer on it. Wasn't supposed to do it, but anyhow, whatever. We're going to paint it. What do you think?
My
Her retirement job. It'll be worth it in the end.
What you do what? What you said?
I said it'll be worth it in the end. But that gray looks pretty good. I say it looks blue. She says it looks purple, but when you look at the far fence over there right now with the light the way it is, that looks gray, but over here it looks blue to me. But I think it's just the light. But we got lucky. I thought I was only supposed to get to 93 today.
Yesterday 40.
It got probably 37 or so, I suppose. But the good thing is it was cloudy until noon, so we got most of it done in the morning, and then I was dead. So we went over there and crashed on the Salah for about an hour and went and grabbed something to eat, come back, and sun was still shining. It was hot, but we went in and knocked the rest of it out. Said the trim people didn't show up for the last 2 days, so there's been no progress on that. I don't know where they're at. Doesn't really matter. We're not in a hurry with that, so as long as they get it done. Tilers are here. They got here yesterday, and they have rough skim coated the 2 bathrooms because they need to tile the bathroom walls before they put the ceiling in. The electrical guys have been here all day the last 2 days. Let's walk over and see what they're looking like. You can see we got this painted all the way down through here. 2 coats. And let me tell you what, it was hot. It was hot. My shirt was soaking wet all day. Too old to be doing this shit. The wire guy's got all the conduit in and all the wires pulled for everything out here on the patio. We got car parking lights there with one switch for them, one switch here for the lights in this living area, and 2 fans, ceiling fans. This is going to be a nice outdoor living area, I think. They got some in here, but they get the rest of this. They started working on this main line coming in, the underground line. Got a box here, a junction box, transfer box, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But they're going to pull a couple wires through there for gate power. Another box over here for the same purpose. From here, it will run straight down to the pole. That will give me, originally it was going to go over here somewhere, but that'll give me a little more room for my septic line, which is good. They did get some conduit underground over here for the gate motor and gate lights, but it doesn't go anywhere. It will eventually go to here, and I say they're going to pull wires through that big underground tube and bring it right out here and run it over there. Not going to be much videos the next couple days because I still don't have that pump pond running. Our plants are drying out, but I wanted to get this thing painted because our fence guy, we've got a guy making a prototype fence to go between these posts. And as soon as we get somebody on board to start making those, then they can just start going through and installing them out because they're already painted. And that's all we got for today. Like I said, the videos are going to be slow now because the closer we get to the end, the more projects I'm going to have. And I'm not taking time to video, just like painting. We've all seen people paint before. There's no sense making a video of me painting a damn wall. And you may have noticed my new hat. My other work hat was all burned up from welding when we made that slaw. Had welder burns all over in it, so I ordered this off of Lazada. Nice little hat, come in, had a double liner in it, which made it just hot as hell. So I just took a knife and cut it out of there. Like I said, it's a work hat, so I don't care. So leaning over and painting the outside of this wall all day long. Got my back muscles talking to me now. All right, I'm good for now. We will see you whenever I make another video. Good morning from Paradise in Thailand. Been a crazy busy week for us. I think this is the second video I made in 4 days. We've been very, very busy. I have missed most of what's gone on in here because I have been busy outside on that fence all week. But they have got this skim coated. And yes, it looks rough because they're going to tile it. So these bathrooms are going to be tile walls. So they got to put the tile in before they can put the ceiling in. And the ceiling is the next step. So they're going to tile the walls of the bathroom and then come in and put ceilings in. So they did get my vent line in the wall. They still got to get that water line over here. I'm not sure. I figured it would be in the skim coat like they did this. Power line, for whatever reason, is going up there. I don't know for sure what the plan is. The electric company suddenly disappeared. It sounds like they're taking 3 days off for some Buddhist something or something. The trimmers, putting that trim on the outside, we're just firing it off, and then all of a sudden they disappeared. They haven't been here for 4 days. I don't know where they're at. Something about taking a kid to school or something, but I don't know where you got to take him to school for 4 days. So this bathroom is skim coated as well. There's the other vent line. Other than that, not much has changed since the last video, so we haven't missed much. But these guys that are here now are waiting on the tile for the bathroom to get delivered. But in the meantime, Duke and I have come to a deal on the floor for this pump house. He's going to put the floor in for me. And these guys don't have anything to do for the next, 10 days? 10 days? Because the tile isn't scheduled to be here for 10 more days. So, in the meantime, I think these guys here are going to work on putting a floor. It'll be 3 meters wide and 5.5 meters long from somewhere right in here down to the front of this column. And they're going to put footings around the outside of it so I can put block walls on it later. That will be pump house. It'll be the storage, water storage tank, the filters, the softener. It'll be motorbike storage for when we travel, just general storage as well. So her and I have been out here in the blazing hot sun painting. You can see the white right next to the bucket there. There's a spot that got missed, and then the top edge of that isn't trimmed out yet. So my task this morning, paintbrush in hand, paint right there, is to finish that one panel there, and then we are completely done. I think it turned out pretty well. We're not professional painters, but as you can see, we did dark gray, which is these colors are in the house plan as well. Dark gray, light gray. Then the house will have black trim windows and doors, and trim that these people are putting on a house will be in white. So that's color theme here. We'll kind of follow that. And as I said earlier, Duke and I have come to terms on him beefing up these two columns here, the first ones, to mimic the ones on the front of the house with the black stone. So that'll just kind of tie everything together. So today we got to go to Ubon. The countertop she picked out is discontinued. So we've got to go up there and pick a new countertop. While we're up there, we're going to look at some cabinets and stuff. But I need to get this painted up first, call this job complete, and then we will head to Ubon. And I just want to make sure before we take off for the day and they start digging holes that they got the correct plan in their head.